I mean, let's push forward into the record. More is the new Pulp record, eighth studio album, first since 2001's We Love Life, 24 years ago. Produced by James Ford, which probably just worth noting that he's kind of the producer of the moment for bands that I love, right? I mean, he did the last couple Arctic Monkeys records. I think he did the last Gorillaz.
He
Um,
did the Blur album.
yeah, he did the Ballad of Darren. I think he did the last Depeche Mode record, maybe the last two. But yeah, it seems like he's kind of the it guy. And if you go and look at his production credits, it's a lot more than that. But I'm just kind of focusing on the bands that I geek out over. I think it was amazing that More hit number one in the UK. Um, for the first week, which I don't know the chart performance. I don't really pay attention to that too much, but when it's a band like Pulp and I read that tidbit, I just have to pause and kind of think about it for a second because it seems huge that they achieved a number one record in this day and age, and I think it speaks to what Wayne was saying about Pulp being beloved, especially in the UK and, globally too. At least here in the States, I think the 2 shows that I've been to, and then I saw Jarvis show and then Jarvis solo, and the crowd just eating it up every second. It's always a good time. Um, so yeah, I mean, bands we love and we respect and are big fans of, it's always nice to see when they do something new. It gets, people seem to love it. I think that's always a good sign.
I mean, they really seem to be riding this huge
Yeah.
wave right now. I wouldn't be surprised if they did another record after this because it just seems like the shows are being so well received. The record's was number one. I know that I talked to Tony at Tone Deaf about it, and he's like, lots of people are coming in asking me how the album is. There's definitely interest in the US here too. So I hope that they continue on.
I think they will. There's a lot of momentum. It's really good to see how well it is being received. And I was just thinking back to like Seth, your point about them being number one. It's really cool, and it's so great to see like hardworking bands get rewarded with that kind of. I don't know how important being number one really is, but it's just nice to get that recognition. I remember a few years ago when Mogwai got number one with "As the Love Continues," and it's just a
I
really cool moment.
I would say that was a lot more shocking than Pulp hitting number one.
Absolutely, but it's just such a cool little thing that happens, and you're like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
no, I
good,
agree.
everybody's paying attention. That's really cool."
Well, I think just in its simplest, definition, I guess, of a number one record, it means that well, I don't know about the masses, but enough people are caring to make it on top of this chart that registers. I actually don't know how the UK registers their charts. I'm not really up to speed on how America does it either. I do think that there's an element of streaming that factors in, so I don't know that it's always purchased records, but I think the sentiment is the same. If you are on top of this chart that is using to measure music that has been released that is popular, I just thought it was pretty fantastic um, that Pulp did that. So, I wanted to ask you guys, did you ever think that we would see a new Pulp record?
I was hopeful, beginning when they started playing shows again. And when I saw them in San Francisco, it definitely felt like they had a lot to offer, and they debuted a couple songs at that show. Um, so by then I was like, okay, we'll get one. But I didn't know when it would be, what it would be like, and how soon it would be after seeing them.
I was shocked at how quickly it came about, but I believe that it only took them 3 weeks to record, and that Jarvis had all of the lyrics written before they went into the studio, which is not the way he had worked in the past. So I think they were like really prepared. And they were, you know, debuting, you know, a new song at almost every show during the US tour, which made it very obvious that there was going to be a new record. But yeah, it came super quick. I didn't think it would come as quick as it did.
He even talked about like the last record just taking so long as well because he was farting around in the studio a lot and he didn't really know which way he wanted to go with it. And this felt like a very organic, fast, easy process, which is
Yeah,
why we
definitely.
obviously got
And
it.
just to clarify, when I say it came super fast, obviously it was 24 years, but what I meant was super fast after it became obvious that they were going to do a new album, meaning as they were debuting new songs, it became obvious that they had a whole new record that they were going to record. But it was like they ended the US tour and immediately went into the studio and just knocked it out and like got the artwork and the packaging and the videos together seemingly very, very quickly.
Definitely.